I'm Stephanie Catalano, licensed clinical social worker, personal development author, life coach, public speaker, and the host of the Mindful Makeover podcast. I am committed to bringing you insightful conversations that will help you move forward in your life, turn your dreams into reality, feel good, and live your life on purpose with purpose. If you're ready for healing, empowerment, and transformation, you're in the right place, so let's do this. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Mindful Makeover podcast and happy March. We are officially 90 days into 2020. I hope you are feeling good and on track with all that you desire. Today I feel inspired to share a quote that changed my life. It's a quote by Annis Nin, who is one of my all-time favorite writers. She quoted, "And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was far more painful than the risk it took to blossom." I stumbled across this quote almost a decade ago, and it made me think in ways that I had never thought before. At the time I read this quote for the first time, I was at a place in my life where I was feeling lost, confused, broken, and disconnected. I was stuck in cycles and patterns that seemed nearly impossible to break free from. I can remember so often feeling frustrated and even angry at times because I would make efforts to move forward, but I never in fact did. Instead, it was like I was running in circles with no real direction. Now I understand it's because I lacked the awareness and the understanding as to what was creating such feelings, cycles, and patterns. But then one day I woke up and decided it was time for more. It was time to heal. It was time to grow. It was time to evolve. It was time to transform. It was time to let go. It was time to blossom. It was time to know and understand what had been keeping me in the cycle of running in circles. And this was really interesting for me because for so long, I didn't want to know. And in fact, I thought this is just what it is. These are the cards I've been dealt. I had no idea that there was a way truly to move through it and out of it. And I kind of just normalized that this is life and this is what it'll be. And the good will be the good and the bad will be the bad. And so it is. And as many say, if I only knew then what I knew now, wow, life would have been easier at times to say the least, but better late than never, as they say. And it truly has been a journey of lessons which have offered me wisdom and new heights of consciousness in ways that I didn't even know were possible. And because every step has led me to this very moment where I'm recording this podcast, I feel empowered to stay on my course and share my insights, learnings, education, and wisdom with all of you. Because it's time for all of us to begin or continue the journey of reaching our highest potential. But maybe you're like me, where once upon a time, I knew there had to be more. I knew there had to be a different way, but I didn't actually know what that meant or how to start. And I think this is a pattern for most of us. We find ourselves in certain situations where we're longing for more, we're visualizing more, but we don't actually know what more is or what it would look like or what it would feel like, and beyond that, how to start so that we can have more or experience more. So today I want to invite you to take some time to think about the quote above, which I will share in the show notes, as well as some questions that I'm going to share with you, which will also be in the show notes. You all know that I'm going to suggest you actually journal these. And the reason for that, the questions that I'm about to share with you, they are much more than yes or no questions. I really invite you all to take time to be still, slow down, pause, and allow yourself the time and space to really look inward and get clear on the question. So here it goes. Do you feel like you're stuck in a bud where there are barriers, blocks, or beliefs keeping you from being able to truly blossom? If so, what are the barriers, blocks, and beliefs? Do you feel unsupported in your life? Do you struggle with time management? Are the days running you where you're having a hard time keeping up with routines and responsibilities? Are you struggling with anxiety and depression? Are you carrying weight from the past? Do you often experience negative thoughts or beliefs such as I'm not good enough, there isn't enough time, life isn't fair? Do you feel guilty for something that has already happened? Do you struggle with the need for approval and people pleasing? Is it difficult for you to set boundaries, to take time for yourself? I want you to really take the time to explore what is holding you back and keeping you in a bud, so to speak. What would it mean if you were to break free from the bud and begin the journey of blossoming or restart the journey of blossoming? What behaviors of yours would you have to change? Are you surrounded by people who are raising you or lowering you? Do you raise people or lower them? I love this question because I think so often we're really quick to blame others because we're conditioned, right, to look to the outside. We're programmed to blame. And in some ways, blaming people has kept us safe, right? Because it's kept us from having to really, really talk about how we're showing up and how we're feeling and how we're contributing. But that's a question I really want you to answer honestly. Do you raise people or do you lower them? In other words, what's the energy you show up with? Are you that person who's always showing up in a negative state? Everything's a complaint. You see things half empty. Or are you that person who raises people because of the energy you bring to the room or to the meeting or to the phone call, whatever it may be? What would life look like once you begin to blossom? How would you feel? This part of the question is so important. How would you feel? The reason this part is so important because as you all have heard me share many times, we are energetic beings. Feelings are energy. If we want to blossom, but yet we are staying in a state held back by frustration, agitation, resentment, bitterness, discomfort, whatever it may be, it's nearly impossible to truly blossom. To blossom, we must show up and feel good. We must show up and feel whole. We must show up and feel good enough. We must show up and feel happy. And all of that is cultivated from the inside out. These are just some prompting questions to help you look in and reflect. Change is only possible with awareness. And once you know, and you can't unknow something. You can't unknow something. You can certainly pretend you don't know or choose not to change what you know needs to be changed, but none of this will help you. It is the most empowering act when you choose yourself and fully commit to yourself, including your goals, your dreams, your visions, and the way you feel. I can remember there was a time in my life that I would run from the word accountability because with accountability came vulnerability, which for me was absolutely frightening, and I think is frightening for most people. But you and only you can make things happen for yourself. And as Brene Brown has taught us, vulnerability is truly the gateway to joy. Life happens so fast and it's easy to lose sight of all that is. It's easy to end up running in circles, as I shared before, but something changes when you become deliberate with your focus and intentional with your actions. In other words, it doesn't support you to focus on what you don't like, to focus on what's not working in your life, to focus on who made you upset or made you feel some type of way, and the list goes on. It also doesn't support you to continue with the same habits, such as exercising or not exercising, rather, if you have a goal to become healthier or become more physically fit. So in other words, get clear on how do you want to feel? What's your goals? What's your dreams? What's your desires? What's your visions? And then make sure your focus is aligned with that, and make sure your steps of action every single day or your habits are supportive of that. And, you know, the thing that's really interesting, I think sometimes we have this idea that we just have to declare what we want and then boom, that's what it'll be. But I'm here to share with you, your brain and body will not do the work for you. Your brain and body will continue to do what it's been programmed and conditioned to do. You must be aware moment to moment, which just means pay attention in every single moment. There's truly a shift of energy within yourself when you examine how you're always contributing to your experiences, including your feelings. Through my experience, personal and as a professional, having over 8 years working with individuals on their journey and through their journey of healing, I've concluded it's not until the desire for true change becomes more than the desire to stay the same that a person will actually change. Similar to what Anna Snin said. She said it far more beautifully than I could ever say, but it's the powerful truth that every person has to reach their point to where the risk of staying the same is more painful than the risk to change and blossom. So today I ask you, when does enough become enough? When will you want more? Some will wait for crisis and disease and emergencies to want more, but why wait when you can have it all in the moments of love, in the moments of laughter, in the moments of joy, security, stability, calmness, and safety? More is always available to you. Every single moment is a moment for more. I want you all to know there is never a right or wrong time. There's never a good or bad time. It's always, always now. So when you have the impulse or fleeting thought of desire for more, act on it. Act on it in those moments, because as you know, the urges of more, they come and go so fast. But I guarantee once you begin to take steps of action that are leading you closer to what you truly dream and desire, that are leading you closer to authentically feeling good and living, you will not want that momentum to end. The real work is always in the doing, and no matter what you want, you can have it. It will always come down to your willingness to take accountability for your life and make things happen. One small change a day is what can truly create the lifestyle that you dream of. I hope you feel empowered to choose more than remaining tight in a bud. I hope you choose the courage to blossom into the beautiful you that's waiting for you. And most importantly, I hope you believe wholeheartedly you're worth it. Whatever you want and desire, you're worth it and you deserve it. In fact, it's your birthright to have it. So choose it, choose you. Thank you for joining me today. If you found today's episode to be insightful and inspiring, subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. And I kindly ask that you please leave me a review so together we can help the next person. To learn more about my products and services, check out www.themindfulliving.com and come connect with me on Instagram at mindfulliving.now, where I share daily inspiration, mindful skills, tips, and more. Until the next episode, stay mindful and always remember the power that lives inside of you.